now. Thanks for joining us on this Friday night. I'm David Molko, and we begin in Northeast Portland, where neighbors were shocked and saddened to learn the identity of the victim of one of the city's latest killings. His name is Morgan Seeger, and as Alma McCarty reports, Seeger may have been homeless, but he was also a fixture of that community.
Monday morning, Portland police roped off parts of Tillamook and Northeast 18th in the Irvington neighborhood, investigating a deadly stabbing. The victim, 49-year-old Morgan Seeger. He'd been living on the street for several years, working with the Peace House and building tiny homes for Beacon Village.
He built those platforms like he was the foreman of those. He was exceptional, and I got to know him better because of that. And then he ended up being one of our villagers for a while.
His death came as a shock to many, including Sandy Lofi.
I thought, who would do this? I felt like, Morgan is such a sweet, sweet person. He is so kind-hearted, and he would do anything for anybody, and I just couldn't imagine that he could die so violently.
2 days ago, somebody told me. It was out of the blue.
Friday afternoon, outside Laurelhurst Park, Steve Black and Kelly Boone remember Morgan fondly as a musician, a chef, and a friend, thoughtful and caring to everyone around him.
He'd help anybody. What happened to him is pretty messed up.
Morgan was one of the first people that I met. He had a real dry sense of humor, kind of a smart aleck sometimes, but truly good-hearted.
Also, people just don't know how much of a good character he is,
Morgan Benson said he's praying for justice for his friend, hoping anyone with information will come forward to help solve his murder.
I hope that people don't, judge this guy and ignore his death because of his status in society or how he might appear to others. But he's sincerely a really good guy, acts better than many people I know around here. Yeah, Christ have mercy.
Alma McCarty reporting there. Next Thursday evening in Laurelhurst Park, friends will hold a celebration of life for Morgan. Right now, Crime Stoppers is offering a $2,500 reward for information leading to an arrest. And remember, if you have a tip to provide, you can always remain anonymous. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, a man stabbed to death in Portland's Elliott neighborhood has now been identified. Police say 46-year-old Justin Valdivia was found dead Thursday morning on Northeast Rodney Avenue. So far in that case, no arrests. A serious scare involving what looked like a gun at Clackamas High School. We want to let you know up front, though, nobody was hurt. The school went into lockdown just before noon after a Snapchat video surfaced of a student wearing a ski mask and holding a pistol in a school bathroom. Deputies swarmed the campus. Parents raced to get to their teens. Police later found out the weapon was a replica. Investigators located 3 students they believe were in that video, but it is too soon to say if anyone will face charges. An update on the teacher strike in Ridgefield. After another session of all-day bargaining today between the union and district, there is still no deal. Classes have been canceled all week. In a statement, the district says it believes it has reached an agreement with teachers on most of those outstanding issues. The bargaining teams are scheduled to meet again on Sunday morning. All right, a quick heads up for drivers if you're out overnight. Right now, ODOT's doing maintenance on the Interstate Bridge. Bridge lifts on I-5 started at 9 o'clock this evening. They will last through 5 on Saturday morning. Crews there working on the cables. Each lift will last about 20 minutes. Well, tonight, the concept of creating wind power off the Oregon coast just got a boost in what you might call a strong gale blowing in from the White House. The president announcing plans to develop the floating platforms to make it all happen. Our Tim Gordon talked to experts about what it would take.
One step closer to making the Pacific Ocean a wind energy producer. On Thursday, the Biden administration announced plans to develop floating technology to support wind towers off the California and Oregon coast. The technology is already developed enough to be in use in European waters, and it will fit the Pacific, where deep water doesn't allow towers attached to the ocean floor. The goal is to build a system that generates up to 15 gigawatts of electricity by 2035, enough to power 5 million homes.
Yeah, it's around the corner in the context of a 10-year process, so we really do need to move.
Bryson Robertson is an OSU associate professor and director of the Pacific Marine Energy Center.
So I think the Biden administration's announcement really says, look, we're committed to doing this. We're going to do this in the right way. But if we go through the process, there will be something at the end. Because otherwise, you can't ask these companies to start to invest.
Wind-generated electricity is already being delivered by turbines attached to the seafloor. There are 6,000 of them worldwide, including on the U.S. East Coast.
Well, POET's a 501c3. Our mission is to promote ocean-based climate solutions.
Pacific Ocean Energy Trust's Jason Bush says the Pacific Ocean's time is coming with the floating platform technology.
The wind resource in Northern California and Southern Oregon is world-class. If we could develop offshore wind projects there, we'll have a very high-quality energy resource. That will help us to meet our state and regional carbon and energy goals, but it will also bring literally billions of dollars of investment as these projects are developed. Of course, along with the thousands of jobs that will be associated with this as well.
Robertson says they are big goals for the Pacific Ocean, worth making.
If you want to inspire people, if you want to drive change, we need to be aggressive, we need to make big statements, and we need to push the envelope, because the status quo just won't get us to where we need to in a time frame that's even tractable with regards to our climate change challenge.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Now, not everybody likes the idea of offshore wind turbines, including the commercial fishing industry, though it sounds like California may sign a couple of leases later this year. In Oregon, though, spots being considered are off Coos Bay and Brookings. To new information this evening about the 50 Venezuelan migrants flown by the state of Florida north to Massachusetts to Martha's Vineyard. Now it turns out an Oregon-based company was involved here. Our sister station in Tampa reporting that Governor Ron DeSantis approved a payment of $615,000 to Vertol Systems Company. They're based right here in the Portland metro area and also have offices in Florida. This is just the latest escalation in the fight over the border. Democrats and the White House officials are calling it a cruel political stunt. DeSantis saying Florida's actions are in response to President Biden's, quote, damaging immigration policies.